Hi guys. How are you?
Jen.
We are live.
We are good.
Oh my gosh.
And Angela, I'll introduce some people here. So Jill, obviously our guest tonight from Alabama.
Hi.
But
Hello.
then we've got Tim, and is it Baca?
Yes, sir.
Tim Baca. Okay. He was this year's Storm Photographer of the Year in the Stormy Awards. Oh,
That's awesome.
Scott's still waiting for his. Okay, hold on. I got to get Scott on here. Just a second.
Man, I have way too many tabs open. Holy cow.
There we go. All right. Just sent Scott his too. Angela. So where'd you say you were at, Angela?
Well, I'm at Oklahoma City right now. I'm in Casper, Wyoming.
Oh, okay. So Angela is one of our new VIPs, Patreon VIPs.
Angela.
Awesome. Yay.
And then the co-hosts, we got MJ's up in Minnesota.
Yes, right there.
Maz is in Cincinnati. And Jen is down in Atlanta.
Yeah. Hi guys.
So cool. So we'll wait. We'll wait for Scott to get on. And I think that's it.
Hey, Jill, is it Gilardi?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Thought so.
Oh, it's Gilardi, not Gilardi.
No goes.
No good.
G.I.
All right.
It's like saying my name twice and add an arty at the end.
Yeah. That makes you Italian.
Yes.
Are you Italian?
Yes, it does. My dad's Italian. My
Okay.
mom's not, but so.
Well, that
That's
makes you a
okay.
little Italian, right?
Yeah,
My dad
so I'm
was
a little
Italian. My mom was Norwegian. I got the white skin. What the heck? Got gypped. Totally gypped. 7 minutes in the sun, I get burned. I'm like, really?
Oh.
Man.
That's how I am. That's exactly how I am. It's so bad.
All right, so we are live. Whoops, I forgot we were doing that.
Yeah, we
so,
are.
Those of you that are joining us live, our Patreon members, welcome to the show. Make sure you are chiming in on the private chat so we know that you're here. And if you happen to be watching this stream after the fact, after the recording, welcome. We call this Stormfront Freaks Raw. I see Scott just jumped on, but we call it Raw because this is the recording of episode 135. It's not the edited version that we will edit and then upload to all the podcast players that are out there. So this is the recording, but welcome either way. But we say raw because, you never know what we're going to say or do that we end up editing out for the actual podcast. So we just kind of warn you in advance that who knows what's said or done. I've heard Jill is just like crazy and you just never know what to expect from her. So we're looking forward to this actually because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome, Scott. How you doing this evening?
Oh, great. Just great. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Where are you at tonight?
I am actually in Council Bluff, Iowa, getting ready to chase tomorrow.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
We're in Council Bluffs.
What's that?
I'm from Omaha. So that's why I'm like, where? Council Bluffs? Yeah.
I'm right off of, oh gosh, I'm around the east side of town. I could, if I look outside, I can see downtown, the building. So I'm,
oh, nice.
Yeah, right off the highway. Just forgot.
He's at the casino. He's at the casino.
Exactly.
I'm right off the 29. So
Okay.
29 near 9th Avenue and
Okay, you don't have to tell us
30
exactly
35,
where,
so.
because there are people out there.
People are going to be coming your way.
My exact address is.
Yeah, you'll get stalkers that'll probably show up this tonight. So okay, so here's the plan. Here's what we do. And Angela, just so you kind of know too, typically what we do with our VIPs is when we go to start recording, we'll actually do what we call, we'll send you to the green room. So it takes you off the main screen, but puts you still in our queue. So we can still see you and bring you back in and all that kind of stuff, but you'll still be able to see the full screen. You can also type into the comments box and section. Like if you have questions for Jill or any of the guys, you can do that. And
I
then
think you
every
can-
time we go to a break, what's that?
I think she can use the private chat to get right to us, right? Does that work?
It's it's comments, right?
Okay.
There's a
On the
chat button.
screen. Yeah. Or is it private chat?
It's private chat to talk with us.
It's the private
and get
chat.
the-
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You see that on the side of your screen, Angela?
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So
Good.
you can use that. And then every time we go to break, which we have 2 breaks during the show, we bring you back in. And then if you got questions at that point, again, for Jill or any of the guys, you're welcome to ask that and all that kind of stuff before we get back into the next recording. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. So here's what I'm going to do first, everybody. I just do kind of a quick little intro that we'll just edit in at the beginning, and then we kind of edit in a little sound clip as a teaser for the beginning of the show. But then we'll go ahead and I'll be done with that. It's just really quick, and then we'll come back. We'll do the normal introduction. I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of the shows we got coming up, and then I'm going to introduce our co-hosts. And I always ask our co-hosts, "What are you drinking?" Because it's a great way to introduce everybody and their voice, but also let everybody know we like to have fun, all that good stuff. And so once we've introduced the co-hosts, then I'm going to jump to Tim and Scott. And so I'm just going to introduce you guys, obviously, as the winners of this year's inaugural Storm Photography Awards. And if you guys, so here's the thing, if you guys want to share your screen, if you happen to have any of the photos or the photo that you won off of, I would say right now, why don't you go ahead and share your screen? There's a share button down at the bottom. And MJ can kind of control, and once you start talking about it, he can kind of pull up your screen then at that point. And whatever you see on your screen is what we're going to see. Right? So if you page through your photos or if you talk about it, and I'm just going to ask you, just a couple questions about maybe where it was taken and a little story about that and all that kind of stuff. But certainly recognize you guys, which is cool because I heard and saw there were a lot of entries and a lot of amazing entries, which was cool to see. So congratulations on that. But after we've done you guys, then Jill, I'm going to turn it over to Maz, and Maz is going to introduce you and start the questions. And we'll go for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes before we take our first break. And then we'll just take a quick break at that point and then come back for the second session of questions for Jill. Tim and Scott, you guys are welcome, obviously, to stay on and kind of become honorary co-hosts too. So if you've got questions you want to ask Jill as we get going or something comes up that you want to ask her about, feel free to just jump in and ask. Right? It's kind of a free-for-all. I tell people it's like we're playing poker around a poker table, talking weather. It's not all super organized. It's if you got a question, you just jump in and ask, right? There's don't feel bad about stepping on anybody's feet.
Nobody's polite here.
Nobody.
Right.
You can't
there
be,
is-
We raise our hand.
Well,
because here's the
great-
truth. If you're too polite, you'll never get your question asked because someone else will just keep talking all the time, especially when we got all these people on. So all right. Does that make sense? You guys have any questions?
I did some research on Jill, so
Oh,
All
wow.
right.
Gee. One of us did,
I
right?
call that stalking. I'm just saying, research. Yeah.
Tim or Scott, do either one of you want to share a screen or not? Because if you do it
yeah,
now.
I have to pull.
So it's-
I have to pull up my photo here. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll give you a second.
It's fine.
see.
Yep.
All right. Oh. So whatever I pull up on the screen, it'll pop up.
Yep,
Yeah,
I see
so
Tim's.
MJ
so
can
like,
control
so
when
there
it
I
gets
can
shown.
Yep, I can see Tim's now, and I can remove it. So when he's talking, I can bring that up, right? So Scott, if you share yours, I can do the same thing. Does that make sense, Tim? Did you see it?
Yeah, I could see it
Okay.
there.
You might be muted. No, maybe not.
Who's that? No, I heard Tim.
Right. Okay.
You got me, MJ?
Yeah, I just lost my own
Okay.
ear pods. Hang on.
Got it.
It's never been this quiet before.
No, never, ever, ever.
I'm like, what?
In the history of.
I was off screen for a second. I'm like, oh my gosh, I must have dropped.
I was getting paranoid too. It was an awkward silence.
Scott, you having any luck, or do you just want me to pull it up off the website, even though it's got the big Scott Peak photo of the year across it?
What was that,
All right.
Jen?
Guess I
Scott?
need it.
It might have to be on the website. It's not there. Yeah.
It's not where you thought it would be?
Yeah, when we do it off it's being a butt.
All right. No, that's cool. I'll pull it up here. And
Operator error.
I was saying, Phil, do you have the
I'm sorry.
I mean, I've got, it's not.
Maz, I love
Come
your
on,
microphone.
Scott. Come on, man. Just having fun with you.
Let me see if I can.
Hey,
click.
Dan's here.
Dan made it.
Dan, the full Brady
Now it's a
Bunch is
party.
here now. Nice.
It is the whole Brady Bunch.
Yes.
Everyone smile, guys. Like we're having super fun.
Okay,
Yay,
I'm going to share my screen, MJ.
Awesome.
Share screen, window, share. Okay.
All right.
Got it?
Right
Hey,
there.
there's Dan.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
There we go. All right. So here we go. We'll say goodbye to our VIPs for right now. We'll put you guys in the green room.
Goodbye,
And,
VIPs.
Here I go with the initial opening here. So this will be a quick one. Coming in 3, 2. Hey, freaks, this is Phil with an amazing show for you this week. We have special appearances by Storm Photographer of the Year, Tim Baca, and Storm Photograph Winner of the Year, Scott Peak. And our guest is Birmingham TV meteorologist Jill Girard.
Take 2.
You got this,
Jill,
Phil.
Artie.
So, Jill, my wife is Jill,
Jill.
too. So you'd think I'd be okay
right.
with this. All right.
Add an Artie. Just Jill Artie.
Gilardi. 3, 2. Hey, freaks, this is Phil with an amazing show for you this week. We have special appearances by Storm Photographer of the Year, Tim Baca, and Storm Photograph Winner of the Year, Scott Peak. And don't forget, our guest is Birmingham TV meteorologist Jill Gilardi. We'll also be bringing #WeatherFools, WX Resources, and we've got a wasted weather clip you're going to enjoy. It's all coming up on this episode of the Stormfront Freaks. All right, so here we go. Let's get in the show. Everybody ready to roll?
Yeah.
Hot dog. All right, here we go. Coming in 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. It's a part of the Stormfront Freaks network. We want to throw out a special thanks to our Patreon members for supporting the show, like our new hurricane-level VIP, Angela Krager. If you are not a member, my question is, what are you waiting for? We've got some amazing shows coming up soon, and we just announced these last episode, but we have a 3-part storm training series coming up. One show is going to be on storm forecasting 2 to 30 days out. We're going to have Skip Talbot and Dr. Victor Gensini is going to be on for that show, which is going to be amazing. The second show in the series is going to be on storm target forecasting. We've got Quincy Vagel coming back to the show, and also Reed Timmer joining us for that episode. And then the third show in the series is going to be on storm structure identification. So once you're actually at the storm, being able to identify where it's going, is it starting, is it dying, all that good stuff. We're going to have Hank Shima and Rachel Sanner joining us for that one. So this is going to be amazing. And our Patreon members can watch and chat with us live during our video recording. They can also get exclusive merch, behind the scenes planning documents that we do for every show, and even join us with our guests like our VIP members are tonight. So you can get in on all the extras at patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks. I also want to let you guys know the other show in our Stormfront Freaks network is El Niños. It's the Tornado Hunters podcast. And I want to share with you guys, if you're not aware, their most recent episode they just posted last week had guest Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong.
Nice.
They had Tommy Chong on the show, which was psychedelic just in the discussion.
Dave's not here, man.
It was great. But here's the key. If you subscribe to our show, you're also going to get El Niños as well on the opposite weeks. So every week you're going to get some great weather podcast. But it's always happy hour when we record, no different tonight. And it's always one of the best ways to introduce our co-hosts that are joining us this evening is to find out what they're drinking. So I'm going to start with MJ, our Skywarn coordinator up in Minnesota. MJ, what do you got? I
got a Liney's Summer Shandy. I'm in the summer spirit.
Do like that.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
That is a good one. We got Maz, our former on-camera meteorologist in Cincinnati and Michigan, as well as Omaha, which we'll find out tonight. But what are you drinking, sir?
Go Huskers. I'm drinking Guinness.
There it looks, yeah.
You know, and it's so funny because I was passing by, I'd already got the Guinness, and I'm like, oh, there's a summer shandy. Wow, next time. So I'm jealous.
You put a Guinness beer bottle in a can koozie.
Yes, I saw that.
Hey,
that's cool.
It's cold.
Shows it off. It shows it off. All right. And then we got Jen, our former social media specialist at the Weather Channel. What are you drinking tonight, Jen?
I am drinking hot chocolate, guys. I couldn't have, I'm tired. And so if I had any kind of alcohol, I would probably like fall asleep. So yeah, I'm doing hot chocolate.
Whatever excuse works for you every week, Jen. We're always behind you. We'll support you 100%.
Thank you.
Hey, one of the cool things we got tonight, guys, I am so excited. For those of you that aren't aware, this was the first year that we had the Storm Photography of the Year contest. I think is what it was called. Storm photograph. Anyway, it was what I like is it was the Stormies. That's what I know them as, right? Is the Stormies. And so they just had this past spring. They basically took all these applicants of storm photographs, and I heard they had a ton. And then they introduced winners. So they had a Storm Photographer of the Year, and they had a Storm Photograph of the Year. And when you even see the top 10, like 10th place is like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it looks like it should be a winner in any other contest, how amazing these shots are. And so we were excited to be able to actually have the winners join us this evening on the podcast. And so we have Storm Photographer of the Year, Tim Baca, is with us, and Storm Photograph Winner of the Year, Scott Peak, who's actually been on the show in the past as well. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So I want to start.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start with Tim. And Tim, can you tell me a little bit about what were the Stormies? How'd you find out about it?
Well, I had seen Michael Binsky post about it a couple times leading up to it on Instagram and on Facebook, and I was debating whether I should actually put in. I had been seeing all the other entries that were going in that he would post up on Instagram and Twitter, and finally I decided to put in, and I was joking with him on Twitter after I put in about, I shouldn't have after seeing all those, and he was kind of glad that I had put in. He said it was a pretty good set of them, so that kind of put my mind a little more at ease.
I know maybe for those that are listening, obviously it's a little harder to be able to see these, but Tim, if you can maybe share some of the photos that you submitted, and maybe tell us just a quick little background maybe on some of them that you thought were really good. But how many did you submit?
I submitted 10 of them.
Okay.
So it was
if you can kind of go through those a little bit and maybe explain if you kind of know where they were from.
Yeah, this was in southeast Colorado. What's funny on this one is Mike actually got this same exact bolt just from about 5 miles west of where I was.
Wow.
Can you enlarge that any more by chance from the thumbnail?
He's saying that we're old and have a hard time seeing.
Well, yeah.
Let me see.
Story of my life, but
can you guys see it there?
No, this might be it because he's sharing that.
Oh, right.
Sharing that particular window. Okay, no, that's cool. That's fine. What's I see one that's obviously got a purple hue to it. Looks like a highway, probably is a lightning shot. Is that right?
Yeah, let me get over here too. Yeah, that's actually over I-40 between Senrose and Tucumcari.
Okay.
After this, I followed this storm for about another 2 hours south of there.
Wow.
So how many pictures did you take like that day?
Oh, on average, I take anywhere from 200 to 9,000 if I'm doing a time lapse on something that's long lived. But that's between two cameras.
Nice. So how do you? I mean, are you going frame by frame? Going, yeah, number 3,246. That's a keeper.
I'll usually look for lightning or some kind of interesting factor that's in there that the others don't have.
Scott's laughing because that's really how it works. That's basically what you do. You spend all this time, and it's horrible. They all start looking the same after a while.
You need to ask me the same question: how many photos I took from that day from Ashby alone? So you're gonna laugh.
So we will. So I'm gonna pull up Scott's photo of the year that he won on. And so Scott, first tell us a little bit about the photograph of the tornado. You got a little rainbow there on a dirt road. Tell us where this was and a little story about it, and then tell us how many shots you take.
Okay, so this is probably like maybe 15 minutes into the tornado's life cycle, and I had turned east to get back to the tornado since there's a lake in the way, and it was messing up the road options that I was trying to find. So as soon as I took that turn, I saw that frame in my brain, in my head, and was like, I need to get this shot. I need to get out of the car and take this. So I got out of the car and just did 2 clicks and then got back in because here's the deal. I only took 5 photos that day, and this was one of them. This was probably number 2. But here's the deal. When you're doing videography and photography at the same time, very difficult because you have to keep that camera just framed right. And I was live on the Weather Channel trying to get the framing right, and so there's a lot going on. But I was able to get 2 shots of this, and the one here that you're seeing was shot number 2. And you can see the road just going down and disappearing underneath the rainbow. And if you look closely on the left-hand side of the road, you can actually see the damage path of the tornado before it crossed the road.
Wow.
And I didn't even notice this. You can actually see the path of the tornado right in front of the right of the rainbow, and it goes across underneath the rainbow before that hill kind of obscures it.
So is it heading to the left side of the picture?
Ask that again.
Is it heading to the left side of the picture?
Yeah, it went from right to left across the photo. Yeah.
Wow.
That is just amazing, Scott. Just the rainbow, the road, the damage path, and the blue sky and the sunshine too. It's so crazy.
Rainbow. Man.
Thank you.
Here's the ultimate question I want to ask both of you winners. What'd you win? What'd you get? Is it just pride, or did you actually get something?
We got some money.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah. So we got Mike and the guys, both Mikes and the other guys awarded us. We got our photo of the year, and he got us. Tim got his photographer of the year award. We got a framed photo, metal photo frame of the picture that we that won, and a few other goodies. So we got a Davis Instrument air quality sensor and a lightning trigger. So, and I'm definitely been using the lightning trigger. So that's actually been a very useful
got it. Cool
prize for sure. But and of course the money's nice. That helps pay for more equipment and for hotels.
You both
I mean,
are welcome, by the way, because I entered the contest too and obviously didn't win squat. So you're welcome for the money you got, because I probably pitched in a little bit on that.
Now you
We
have
appreciate it.
you have everything in that picture. If you looked in the extreme lower left, I think you even have a UFO in that shot too. I don't know how you got everything in there, but I'm like, what the heck was
Michael,
that? See that lower left?
yeah.
That's a
There's-
UFO.
That's true.
There's a Sasquatch in there too, and a unicorn. If you look
I know. I'm like, what don't you have in this shot?
Cool. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you jumping on. Hope you can stay on here as we get to Jill. But definitely congratulations. You guys did some amazing work. And I'll be honest, Scott, I knew about some of your stuff. Tim, it was great to see your stuff and be introduced to someone new that I hadn't seen before, and look forward to following you here on out. So great job, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Maz, I'm going to flip it over to you. Let's get to our guest tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, we have Jill Gilardi tonight, meteorologist at WBRC-TV in Birmingham, Alabama. Jill joined WBRC in 2013. Now she has about 15 plus years of experience as a broadcast meteorologist, serving audiences in St. Joseph, known as St. Joe, and Springfield, Missouri, as well as Omaha, Nebraska. That's my hometown right there. She started storm chasing in 2008 and even worked for a storm chasing company called Extreme Chase Tours. She earned her bachelor's degree in meteorology at Lyndon State College in Vermont. Now let's see, who else was from Lyndon State? Oh, that would be the Weather Channel. Jim Cantori, that's right, he's from there.
Yep.
And one of the toughest TV days for Jill was May 22nd, 2011, the day of the Joplin EF5. Now, before I ask you about Joplin, I got to ask you, what are you drinking, Jill?
It's a secret though. I like a little Malibu Black. If you've had Malibu before, if you like the next step up, you go with Malibu Black. And then I don't drink a lot of soda because I know a lot of people say you shouldn't be drinking diet soda. But I have a Diet Dr. Pepper cream soda. It's really good.
Nice.
So just
Wow.
nice
And that's in a
mixture there.
huge glass too. So I got to ask, Joplin was a tough time for everybody. Did you start drinking after Joplin, or like what was
No,
that?
it was
day
well
like for you?
before then. Well before then. No, I mean Joplin. That was. I've had something more recent. Well, 2014, we had the Snowmageddon here in Birmingham, so that has replaced the most significant, event that I've covered in my career. But Joplin, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I mean, of course, we had the big outbreak April 27th, 2011. And then we had, the Joplin tornado. That particular day, it was on a weekend, I'm pretty sure. And we had our chief meteorologist at the time. He was starting to give tours, storm chase tours. So he was actually out in Kansas and coming, back behind that system. And so everyone else was, it's busy. It's the weekend. And so this thing, flares up and, you knew on radar once you saw the ball of debris, because we learned, we never saw so many balls of debris like we did on April 27th. So as soon as I saw that, I got chills when I was talking live on TV, even though it's just out of our DMA, it was just out of, the Springfield market. But of course you have counties next in line that would be impacted. So I knew what was happening and, to just know the destruction that was being, caused, and then starting to hear those reports, it was just, bone chilling. So, that was very significant in my career in terms of, covering something that was just so devastating. Those before and after pictures, just mind blowing.
Did you had you done any live tornado coverage yet prior to that?
Maybe a little bit. I was still kind of green with all that. Talk about nerves and things like that, having to cut in, wasn't something I did all the time. But certainly there were moments that I would, do some cut-ins, but maybe I was just sitting down during a cut-in. It didn't mean I always was at the weather wall, but boy, things have changed. that just seems like such a long time ago. Wait a minute, it was such a long time ago. So a lot has changed, and I've been through many, many more different types of events.
even though it was such a long time ago, do you remember that day, like even leading up to it? Because a lot of times, like schools, you know, the teachers, like the kids were just wacky that day of the big EF4, EF5. You know, do you remember that day, or did it all of a sudden just come on you?
I think it just came on very suddenly. I don't think anyone expected what transformed that day. I mean, I remember, what was it, Mike Bettis from the Weather Channel was out there, and I mean, I was like watching the Weather Channel like a junkie. I mean, that's what you do, right, Jennifer? So yeah, I mean, I was watching live coverage from him, you know, just seeing the destruction. Personally, I never drove out there to see it because I'm not one to, I want to see all that. I saw enough on TV. I mean, I don't want to hear people upset. I mean, that's the one thing about storm chasing, that I try not to get too close because I don't want to see just how devastating it could be. Now, you know, if I were to show up on the scene, of course I would help out. But usually, you know, my role as a storm chaser for, you know, TV stations has been, you know, a safe distance for everyone, because I'm going to freak out the, you know, photographer that's with me, you know, and just to visualize, show people what is actually happening. Because once they see it, then they'll believe it more and actually, you know, maybe take shelter. Some people just like, whatever, we hear warnings all the time. But that day, I really think it was a surprise how it all morphed together. I remember how it looked on radar. It was like, it was so rain wrapped, and, you know, people, they just saw this wall that looked like rain to them. They had no clue that it was just this gigantic tornado. So that was the other thing about it was just like, oh yeah, look at that reflectivity. And then you switch over to velocity, like, oh my goodness. And then that ball of debris. I mean, I'm getting chills right now talking about it. It doesn't go away. It's like it's the same feeling.
Well, I think it was like, and Scott, I think you were out there. We've got Garrett who is saying the rate and speed at which the Joplin tornado condensed is crazy. It went from like EF2 to EF5 within like 60 seconds or something. Like your video and so many others, like it was small, like spinning tornadoes, and all of a sudden it just literally condensed into this massive wedge. Can you explain what you saw, Scott, on that day?
I mean, you pretty much explained it just how I saw it. It pretty much formed. I went back and watched the video again and counted, and it took 25 seconds to go from a dancing vortice in the field to pretty much a wedge tornado. And it was quick. I've never seen a transition in a tornado like that in my life. So that was the first time I've ever seen that.
That's so crazy. And so, Jill, I've got a question leading up to that tornado, because that tornado was after April 27th. How was April 27th for you? How was that outbreak for Springfield and the general region? And then how was the audience, like, if there was ever a thunderstorm or severe thunderstorm, were they extra freaked out about storms going, you know, a little bit more scary?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of time in between because, you know, it was like barely a month. And, you know, as a meteorologist, I just remember all of us gathering together, and, you know, you're just glued to the television and, you know, of course, watching the Weather Channel. And I remember seeing the debris coming down in Birmingham, watching that live coverage. And I was just mind blown by the radar reflectivity. I mean, another ball of debris. I just remember the ball of debris just stuck out like crazy. And then to see the live view of, you know, the tornado coming into Tuscaloosa, but then to watch all those videos from either chasers or those that, like, you know, they're outside their apartment. I mean, these horizontal vortices, I had never seen so many in my life, you know, watching video. I'm not saying in person, but, you know, it was totally different kind of beasts of storms that occurred down in Alabama. And, you know, then to get to the place of working in Birmingham and be like, oh my gosh, it just passed just north of this downtown. I mean, just scary, scary close. But I really don't, you know, Joplin, again, it was just outside of the Springfield market. So, you know, I know people were heightened and aware, but I didn't really hear much else, you know, at that point. But again, we're talking a while ago. So you're having me jog my memory. I remember all that.
So going to school up in Vermont and then being in Omaha and the Plains and Tornado Alley and then being down in Birmingham. So what was it like with Snowmageddon? I mean, because you're from Vermont and you're like, it snows all the time, and then you get the snowstorms in the Midwest. But down in Birmingham, tell us about that day or that day.
Well, I actually grew up in Massachusetts. Grew up in Massachusetts, went to college in Vermont, started my TV career in St. Joe. And so I just remember like me and my dad, we drove all the way across country. All I had on me was like, a chair, a table that, the legs unscrew, and my clothes. Like I literally had to start from scratch, and seeing the big sky. Now I call it big sky. Now it makes sense because, you grew up in the Northeast. There's so many trees, you hardly get a good view of the sky. So I was like, oh my gosh, I could see forever, So, you go from, in St. Joe, you had, your winter storms, but I was only there about a year and a half. Then I went down to Springfield for 6 years. So we had, severe weather, but half the time there was like, I called it the Gilardi Curse. It was more so if I left town, the curse was for others because bad weather always hit. I would be missing tornado outbreaks. Like I'm trying to concentrate on being with my family in Massachusetts and I can't because I've got all this stuff going on and I got friends and it's hard to, just completely disconnect. And so, then we had our fair share of, winter storms. We had the ice storm of, I think it was like 2007. That was insane. Beautiful, but insane to be without power. And then I went to Omaha for 2 years. And of course you're going to have blizzards and, oh my gosh, so cold, but you have all the everything at your fingertips from road temperatures to travel conditions. So I started off 2 weeks in Birmingham and I was actually supposed to be, I was off and I think it was on a Tuesday and they were like, Jill, just come in and maybe you can do some live shots. And we anticipated that it was going to be a dusting. Now, I did not look at the forecast ahead of time because I'm not thinking I need to be looking at the forecast if we're getting a dusting. And everything was shifted. All the, equipment was shifted down into Montgomery. That's where the anticipated, worst weather was going to set up. So that morning, I happened to have an all-wheel drive truck. So I brought that into work because I'm like, okay, we got a big hill to go up. If anyone's ever been to Birmingham and the TV stations, I mean, that is Red Mountain. It's like going up 1,000 feet. So I was like, okay, I'm set, if something happens. It started to snow a little bit. And I get in the building and Wes White is in there. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, I don't know. This stuff's getting a little crazy. And all of a sudden, I mean, talk about a flash freeze. I mean, I had never heard of the term really. I never experienced it. And we have all these cameras everywhere. And I'm seeing like people just spinning off the road. And I'm like, what is going on? And so I started looking at some of the data. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, it looks like this band's going to persist. And but it was like 19 degrees. And we had, exceptionally cold air that doesn't usually happen down there. And so we had that flash freeze effect where the compaction of people traveling on the road melted a little bit and then it froze instantly. So you had what looked like a horror movie. And so our chief couldn't make it in. He tried. By about 4 something in the afternoon after his second attempt, I looked at Wes and we're like, we're here for the long haul. Luckily I had an extra change of clothes, but I slept on like a body size cot for like 2 hours. I had just like a nap and then we were back on the air in the morning. So that was my first time being forced to stay at a TV station to sleep over. And I mean, there were cars just everywhere. I mean, for a couple days after that, it was really cold still. So there was ice still, abandoned cars. I mean, again, it was just like a horror movie. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, is this really happening? And then the funny part was, I'm like, where are the road sensors? Jill, we don't have those down here. Well, what's the, travel map? What's the conditions like out there? We don't have anything like that. I'm like, oh my God, like everything that I was so used to having right at my fingertips. I'm like,
You're right.
oh my gosh, so a lot has changed since then. We've got, the laser temperature sensors and we start, focusing on forecasting what the roads might do. Because it's like, that's really what it came down to,
How much snow was there when it was all said and done?
was like an inch and a half. It was like nothing. But
Oh
it
my
just
God.
turned into but we have hills. I mean, no one really
Right.
thinks about it in Alabama unless you've been here.
Yeah.
It is very hilly. It kind of reminds me a little bit of New Hampshire, a little bit. Lots of trees. So, and people, they don't know how to A, drive in it, and B, if you have ice on a hill, no one can drive in that. And then they were like spewing out little bits of sand. I'm like, what is this sand going to do? I'm like, nothing. Like, it's too late. It was just a perfect recipe for a disaster. So people to this day, I mean, they're traumatized from that. So whenever there's a chance for snow, well, what about that time? Like, you never live in, it's not. Oh my God,
Well, hey, I'll tell you what,
Crazy.
everybody, it's we're going to take a quick break. The tornado trackers are going to be sharing their audio diary of when they chased Hurricane Dorian on this edition of Tracker Chat. But we're going to be right back with more from Jill. So hang on.
How much is left of that drink, Jill?
That's right.
I don't know. I was starting to get into a group there. Half. I mean, this keeps it nice and cold, and like I said, an hour's worth. I got to just have my one. I can't be
It
like,
sounds like
somebody, can you?
It sounds like a
Jill, what shift do
canteen.
you work?
It does, yeah.
No. I work. My shift is normally from like 10 in the morning till about 6 p.m. I've got like the best schedule of a meteorologist ever. But I am off today and tomorrow because I'm filling in for Fred this weekend because he's on vacation a couple days. So this is my weekend. This is my Saturday night. So
Woo!
Oh, nice.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you're drinking.
look at him.
Hey,
Hanging with
Dan,
y'all.
you need to smile.
Hey, Dan, Dan, you have any questions for Jill or Tim or Scott?
He looks so mad.
Jill, you know me. Jill, was there a significant weather event that influenced your decision to pursue meteorology?
You know, I've always like tried to pinpoint it exactly, but I don't think it's just one thing. It's probably a culmination. Now, it could have started off with the movie The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I mean, it's possible with the whole
Right.
tornado bit. But I think it was, 1985. So now I'm going to date myself. I was 5 years old, and we had Hurricane Gloria move up the East Coast. And I remember my, being downstairs, and I was really short. Wait, I'm still short. I couldn't see out the windows, but anyways, we had like the VHS of it, and I'd replay and watch all that, and I'd make my mom tell me the story over and over. She's like, I went upstairs and I heard, it sounded like a train. And so she says we had a little tornado going through, which I don't doubt because we had a lot of trees down in our yard. So that kind of made more sense. But and then from that point on, I became just Weather Channel obsessed. And then my mom, she's a retired nurse now, but she would work till probably like 11:30. So I would draw out the map of the United States, and I'd like track the little hurricane and show it where, and I just leave these for her every night, like as if she really was interested. But she's cute. She's always asked me still to this day, like, what's going to happen with this storm, Jill? So I got to keep on it. And so I think it, started probably from then, but then it was like winter storms. Mom and Dad, can you drive me out? Like, let's go in it. Like, can we drive around? And so it just everything I loved. So
When you go home for the holidays, do you say, Mom, tell that story again? Do that when it's tornado, the train.
yeah, no, I think I made her
No,
tell it
okay.
so much when I was younger that I hear it in my head. So.
Angela, do you have any
Gosh, if I still have
questions
that
for anybody?
VHS.
I guess my question would be like, where do you want to see weather go in the next 5 years as far as like forecasting, models, storm chasing, all that?
That's a great question.
Me in particular?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got three of you. They can chime in.
Jill, you go first. I'm sure you got a great answer for that question.
Sure.
No pressure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard because I'm coming from the television side of things, and I'm seeing where TV is morphing. I have concerns. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait to eat. I have a dog that's like, why aren't you feeding me? Anyways, slightly distracted. But no, I mean, I think we've got to be careful because we're morphing away from, everything's becoming so digital and apps and, taking the science out of, what we do. And, I've had that happen to myself, I don't want to just start bashing, the station, but they just want you to be very simple with it and not really get very sciencey. But if you were to watch, Boston, like, of course, when I go home, I'm going to watch the news up there. I mean, they're showing the almanac, they're showing low pressure stuff. I mean, I can't show any of that stuff. Like, you don't do any of that. So that's my concern, like branching away from making you like truly who you are as a scientist. That's my concern with the television side of things, but I think it's just based on it's just different markets. So I don't know. We have consultants involved in a lot of different things we do. So yeah, I'm mixed with emotion.
Yeah. So Tim, question goes to you as a storm chaser. What's one thing that would be on your wish list for the next 5 to 10 years that you'd have access to as a storm chaser?
Yeah, honestly, I can't really think of anything.
There's a lot now, isn't there?
Yes.
I mean, really.
It's hard to pinpoint one thing.
Scott, you got any dream that we don't have access to right now?
Well, Elon Musk is coming out with that that satellite internet, so
That's awesome.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's true. Yeah.
It's an evolving dream come true.
Is that supposed to it's 5G, right? And isn't that supposed to mess with the weather data frequencies?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure the Starlink. That's that project.
Starlink. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't think that's supposed to much. We've got it up here. I'm in Minnesota. And I actually know people who utilize that service, and it is, I mean, it is potentially a game changer because it's there all the time, no matter where you are. Right?
Yeah.
And it's it's high speed, where with cellular, you get out in probably you guys when you're chasing and so on, you notice the dips and the whatever that you get from it when you're not around a tower.
Quick shout out to Josh Garrett and Steve are on watching tonight. So, and Jill, you'll like this. Josh says, sounds like Cheeks is pitching a tantrum. So I think Josh knows your he watches you guys.
Yeah, if you know Cheeks, you know my name. Yep, you definitely are. So
he says you're the best in Alabama. You and your team are the best in Alabama.
Best in Alabama.
Well, that's very sweet. I mean, we have a great team. Our team's actually changing a little bit. JP is going to pursue. He had been our chief for 10 plus years, and at least 7 years of my career down in Alabama. But yeah, so he's moving on to be a pilot full time, and they just promoted Wes Wyatt. So I'm super pumped because that's exactly who I would have picked. So now we'll just have to recruit for getting that 6th member again. But it's wonderful. I mean, our team is just like a family. I mean, you wish for like some dynamics like that, and you realize the importance of things like that because you don't get that just anywhere. You can work at, some top market making all this money, but your team, you don't get along. And it's just like, so, that is super, super important. So I'm stoked to see who the next, the 6th person will be and us, continuing to just be there for the folks. And I mean, we've got crazy weathers, the amount of tornadoes in Alabama. It's pretty. Well,
that's actually a pretty good sized team. I might ask you about that here as we get back. So
yeah, I was going to too.
I'm going to, I'll quick bring us back from break. We'll take 5-10 minutes quick, just kind of ask Jill any additional questions that you guys might have. I'll start with an initial question. We go from there. And then we're going to jump to our lightning round. So when you hear that sound,
nice,
it is time for our lightning round. So we're gonna play a little game, kind of like Family Feud. So I'll put Jill, Scott, and Tim together on one team, and MJ, Maz, and Jen on another team. But I won't tell you what it's about yet because it'll be kind of fun.
That sound, by the way, freaks out all the storm chasers. They hear that.
It does. Yeah.
I gotta go. Time to go. I gotta run. Grab your camera and go.
Start looking out of the window.
All right. Okay. So here we go. Everybody ready? Any
Too
questions?
early for that.
All right. And then after Family Feud thing, we'll take our final break at that point. Jill, I'll ask you I'll ask Ashley, all three of you, Scott, Tim, Jill, about where people can find you on social media and all that good stuff. Okay.
Sure. Excellent.
All righty. So here we go. We are coming back in. You got to find where I'm at. 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Birmingham TV meteorologist Jill Gilardi joins us. And Jill, so you started your TV career kind of in the central part of the United States. What really took you down to good old Sweet Home Alabama? Because you're from New Hampshire. I mean, what took you down there? It's kind of a curious move, right?
Yeah, I mean, you never would imagine. I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, went to college in Vermont. You basically have to have in your brain that you're going to have to move pretty much anywhere when you start off. So St. Joseph, Missouri is where I started off. Up down to Springfield, Missouri, moved within the company. And then, they went in a different direction. So I went in a different direction and saw a job opening up in Omaha. Drove all the way up for that interview and was basically told I'm hired. So just had to wait a couple weeks. Was there for 2 years, and then it was time to. I was not very happy after a while there, so I had to move on. And what ended up happening was I tried to find, a job of my own. I had like an interview in Raleigh and it didn't work out. And then I decided, well, maybe I'll go the agent route. And so before I went the agent route, this is just a weird story. Like when you talk about things meant to be, I was meant to be in Birmingham, Alabama. Never thought about that. But so I had made like a little YouTube reel, but I didn't set it to private. It was public. And so out of the blue, this guy emails me out of, the Birmingham area. And he's like, oh my gosh, there's a job opening at Fox 6. You should totally apply for it. I think you'd be perfect for it. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. But in my brain, I'm like, I'm not going to Birmingham, Alabama. Like, anyway, so that happened, hired an agent. And he didn't really tell me where he was applying. So whenever I got the phone call, I was at work at the time up in Omaha, and it said Birmingham, Alabama on it. I was like, oh, my goodness. You got to be kidding me. But anyway, so I was like, Jill, have an open mind, hear it out. And, it sounded like a good opportunity. Again, it was like weekends initially. And I was like, I don't want to do it. But then, they're like a lot of storm chasing. And like, well, I'd like to come down for an interview if you're interested. And they were like, well, all right, then. So flew down there and nailed the interview and got offered the job basically that day too. So it's just kind of crazy. And then I went through my email, found that dude, and I was like, man, I'm here. I'm the one that, you said I'd be right for it. And this is just crazy. I don't know who you are and like how you knew, but it's just, it's just really crazy where life takes you. So, while I miss my family and I would love to be close to them, it's, not always realistic that's going to happen. So this is actually Birmingham is the longest place I've lived for my TV career, 7 years now. So I've created, I have friends that are family. And so unless there's some magical job that opens up in the Northeast I'll be staying here for a while. So.
Did you say friends that are family?
Yeah, they're like family. See, I'm drinking out of my family cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I call them. Family.
Hey, when we were on the break, you were talking about in Birmingham, because we had like 2 weather people in Omaha at Channel 3. And did I hear you say you have like 6 meteorologists?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Spoiled. I know. I remember back in the day working in Springfield, like maybe almost a month straight. December, I remember working like pretty much 25 days straight because there was only 3 of us, right. And so you did a lot of like working not 2 weeks straight, 7 days straight, Now it's like, you want off then? Okay, cool. let's figure out who's going to work. And so now that we're dropping down to 5, it's like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? But hopefully it won't last long. But I had planned some vacation time, so I'm taking I'm into camping now. I've got a camper, an RV. So because of the pandemic, that had changed how I was going to be able to see family. And so last year I, went all the way up to Massachusetts, and with a smaller camper. Now I have a bigger one. So the first 2 weeks in August, I'll be visiting family through that route. Maybe next year I'll fly. So
must be Western Mass,
awesome.
because I'm not hearing an accent.
Well, you better not, because I had to get rid of it for TV. So, no, I'm actually from Eastern Mass. Do you want me to talk like I'm from, doing the weather
Boston?
up there? Yeah. Something like lobster. Yeah. Pick my father up at the park. Yeah. No. It feels weird to do it, but.
Does it come
back?
Like river.
When you go home? Does it come back?
It will, a couple of words, but it sticks out like a sore thumb, because I remember when I was in college, my professor was like, okay, you go practice at the wall and I'll be back in a minute. So I was like, and the wall front is coming up from the south. And she was like, Jill, what is that? I'm like, warm, like training yourself to not talk a certain way that you talked all your life was very challenging, and you have to hear yourself constantly say it. So, I remember just that one day, like I was in Springfield, Missouri, and I'm on the air, and I was like, in the river, and I was like, ooh, like you just want to like vomit, because you're just like, I just said river, not river. Like it just stuck out. So it takes a while, but I'll lax a little bit. But it's rare that it's going to come out anymore now. I'm just sound like a bunch of everywhere, pretty much. So.
Jill, I have to ask you really quick about your chasing, working for Extreme Chase Tours. What was that like, and what did you do for them?
Yeah, that was really a cool opportunity. My late friend, Jim Sellers, he was head of Skywarn down in Springfield, Missouri. I don't know if anyone knows of him, but he passed a couple years ago. But he was good friends with Lanny Dean, and so he connected me with him, and just basically gave me an opportunity to experience what this whole chasing with a group that pays money for you to kind of direct them and show them crazy weather. So basically I went and helped them out about 2 or 3 times. I mean, so I was in Springfield, they were out of close to Oklahoma City. So it, had to work out just right. But certainly, we saw a large tornado. One of the times a guy just randomly is like, hey, take me on a tour today. And it was like probably, a level 10 kind of day, like it's going to happen. And we had so just after the outbreak for April 27th, 2011, we had in May, it was really quiet right after that. Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, we had a group from South Africa that flew out. So this husband and wife, and there was nothing. We had absolutely, it was a week of clear skies. So I think we went to the Wizard of Oz Museum one day. We ended the tour early because there was nothing to chase. So, that was kind of crazy. And then, of course, a couple of weeks later, then we had the Joplin tornado. So, that was pretty much it. And then, once you move up to Omaha and you're so far away, it just, I stopped doing that. And I just became more of a chaser for the TV stations.
Have you ever been chased? Oh,
that's okay. We'll quickly. It's coming. It's not here quite yet. So go ahead and ask last question again.
Almost here. Jill, have you ever chased a hurricane or been covered a hurricane?
Not professionally. As a kid, of course, we would drive to the beach, but no, I'm too much of a chicken with hurricanes, honestly. Like I'll do maybe a tropical storm, maybe a Cat 1, but I don't want to have the potential of being stuck somewhere, and especially with 10 animals, and I don't want to be really in that. So no, I have not dabbled, but as if something's close by and I can see,
Have you
know,
lost
Okay,
the windshield
that's too
while
late.
chasing?
Maz, it's here. All right, guys, it's
Yeah,
here.
whatever.
Sorry. So that's the sound. It's time for our lightning round. So this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions. We always play along with our guests, and we always invite everybody to play along with us as well. So you're going to like this, Jill. You set it up pretty good because you talked about your 10 animals. You got 5 dogs, 5 cats. So I thought this would be a fun opportunity to play a game that I call Will My Pet Kill Me?
Oh my God.
Will my pet kill me? So we're going to kind of play this a little bit like Family Feud. Okay, so I'm going to stick Jill. I'm going to have you, Scott, and Tim on one team. And then I'm going to put our freaks, MJ, Jen, and Maz on the other team.
You're going down.
And so we're going to play it like Family Feud. And we'll start, Jill, we'll start with your team. You can be the captain. And what this is based off of is the CDC's average number of deaths per year by animals. Like, so we have a list here, and you have to tell me which animals are on the list that are most likely to probably kill you.
It's the uplifting part of the show.
This is good times. This is always fun.
That's right.
So, and you have 3 strikes, right? We'll play it like that. So I'll just go Jill and Scott and Tim, and Jill, Scott, Tim, up until you get 3 strikes. And if you don't get all of them on the board, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 on the board. If you don't get them all, then I'm going to go to the freaks, and they have a chance. And if they can still pick one that hasn't been picked yet on the board, they win. If they don't, or if you pick them all, you guys win, right? Just like Family Feud. So you ready?
Middle thing.
Well, I've got a quick question. What kind of animals are we talking? Just wild
animals
or pets?
It can be any. Huh? I said, will my pet kill me? But who knows? You might have a pet, anteater, right? It's possible. No, I'm not. No, anteater's not on the list, right?
Yeah,
but I'm
say
just
that
saying.
one.
Right? No, these are just general animals. It could be wildlife. It could be pets. Who knows, right? So I'm going to start with you, animals. Jill. What's that, Scott?
Okay.
No, don't listen to me.
Okay.
Don't listen.
So Jill, I'll start with you. Top 9 answers on the board. What do you think? What kind of animal is most likely to kill you?
Are we talking reptiles too?
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's an animal. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the rattlesnake.
So that would be snakes and lizards. Snakes and lizards. That was what do we got? Like number 6 on the board. Number 6 on the board. All right, Scott, you're up. Animals, or animals kind of covers a lot. What's going to kill you?
Gosh, man, I'm on the spot. I don't know.
Go for bear.
Bear. I mean, yeah.
Too late. Jen, you're not on their team, but
I know.
Hey, Tim, so that's 1 strike. So Tim, you're up. What do you got?
Big cats, lions, and
Okay.
Yep. What?
Really?
Not on the list. Yep.
That's surprising.
It's not. So that's 2 strikes. Jill, back to you.
I don't know, like a shark.
Shark? What? Shark is on the list. That's number 9 on the list.
Good job,
so
Jill.
just to let you know, the average number of deaths per year from snakes and lizards are 6. Average number of deaths per year from sharks, 1. All right, so you still got 7 on the board. Scott, back to you.
Shark.
Come on,
I don't
Scott.
say.
Come on.
And this can be any kind of animal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like, how about a cow?
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, brother.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely udders.
Now I know what to say.
Cows kill 20 people a year.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Are you serious?
Yep.
We
Good
kind of get
kickers.
back at them, though, don't we?
They can
Because they're
kick ya.
tasty.
Mostly farmers, right? Mostly farmers.
Oh, yeah.
And these aren't traffic deaths. These are literally, you get run over, you get kicked, you get something by a cow. But 20 deaths per year by cows. All right. Tim, back up to you. We got 6 still left on the board.
How about horses?
Horses.
Oh.
Horses are not on the list. So that's 3 strikes.
Oh,
So, Freaks, I'm going to turn it over to you. MJ is your captain, so I'll wait for the actual answer from MJ.
all
But
right,
what do you guys
Jen
think?
Maz, what do you got?
So I'm thinking spiders.
Spider. That was
Or
my gut.
alligators and crocodiles.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah. Boy, I
think
want
both.
to. I want to say spider, but boy, that's good too. What do you think, Maz or Jen? Should we do spider, or you want to do?
We'll do spiders. I was going to say
All
spiders.
right, let's go
too.
spider. Spider.
Spiders? It is spiders.
they're going down.
Freaks win. So spiders were number 5.
Okay.
Number 5 on the list. All right, let me go through the rest. What you guys missed. Number 1, 58 deaths a year from bees, wasps, or hornets.
Oh,
yeah, that makes sense.
right.
Okay. Number 2, Jill, 28 deaths a year from dogs.
Uh-huh.
Better feed them.
Number 4, cows were 3 with 20. Number 4, non-venomous insects, 9 deaths a year. You guys got spiders at 7, snakes and lizards at 6, and the last 2, bears,
There.
1, alligators, 1,
Would have gotten that.
and you had gotten sharks at 1. So
Wow.
Nice.
So good job, guys. That was actually. I still can't believe Scott got cows. I thought for sure that would be Garrett's
Really fall from
hippos.
the sky, you know.
Oh, here's what I should have led this. I think I did say this was U.S. deaths. Garrett said hippos, but I don't know how many hippos we got.
Oh,
roaming
they're
around the
mean.
US.
They are mean.
But hey, you could have a
yeah.
hippo for a pet, right? So, Jill, do me a favor. Tell people where they can find you on social media.
Well, you have a pick. You have Instagram, Jill Gilardi. It's real easy. Twitter, @Jill Gilardi, or Facebook, Jill Gilardi WBRC. There you go. Nice and
Wow.
easy. Right?
Okay, so
job.
pick a winner there. Tim, how about you? Where can people find you on social media or any of your work?
On Tim Baca Weather on Facebook, Instagram, or Tim Baca Photography on Facebook and Instagram, and Tim Baca Weather on Twitter, and timbaccaphotography.com.
Cool. Okay, good. And then Scott, what about you?
Yes, Scott Peak Weather on Facebook and YouTube, and also on Twitter as well.
Awesome.
Hey,
All
Tim.
right, well, guys,
Hold on.
what's that,
Tim,
Matt?
did any of your friends ever call you Chewy?
No. Well, one guy at work.
Chewbacca?
Yeah.
No Chewbacca jokes in there at all?
One guy at work.
One guy at work that's like Maz, that big Star Wars fan. But hey, you guys all know it is summertime and it is hurricane season with Elsa coming through at helicity.co/SFF. They've got a huge selection of weather and hurricane themed merchandise, including Stormfront Freaks shirts, beverage containers, Jill, stickers. They got some great stuff. Go to helicity.co/SFF and you will earn 5% off your entire order, no matter what it is. But if you click on the brands tab, that's where you're going to find all your Stormfront Freaks favorites. Again, that's helicity.co/SFF. Hey, it's time for our final break. We're going to be prepping here backstage for our hashtag Weather Fools. We've got our WX resources and we're pulling up a new wasted weather clip that you're not going to want to miss. So we'll see you in a moment.
Where did you get that alien?
You missed it. So I was telling Tim earlier, because he's in New Mexico, I got it this year in Roswell because when I was chasing down there end of May, I went through Roswell and, I had all day. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the UFO museum and all that stuff. And I picked him up and I blew him up, of course.
How do you know it's him?
And I put him in my passenger seat as my chase partner. So he was my chase partner this year.
Did you put him in the front seat?
I did.
Up?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it was good times.
And it proceeded to use the high occupancy lanes.
Nice.
I won't lie to you. When I was heading home through Texas, I did. I did.
Good for you.
All right. Well, Jill, thank you very much. Tim and Scott as well. Now, I will, if you guys want to stick around for the last couple segments, might be another 15 minutes. You're welcome to do that. And you can be in the peanut gallery and comment on some of the funny videos we share and stuff like that. But it's completely up to you if you want to stick around for the last bit. Yeah. Jill, you want to stick around or you're heading out feeding the dog?
Well, I have some animals to feed, but if it's just going to be 15 minutes, I can stick around.
Careful, they can be deadly.
Okay. Tim, you still in?
Right?
Scott, you're in?
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in. Cool. All right. And then we'll ask too. Angela, did you have any other questions for these guys while we got a shot?
I have a question for Jill. What's it like being a woman in meteorology? How do you feel about more and more women breaking into it? And do you feel like there's still a stigma, specifically in the South, that you're not taking as seriously?
That's 3 questions.
Sorry.
Great questions.
What's part 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, certainly has come a long way from when I first started. When I was in college, I was one of 15 meteorologists that graduated. And of course, really small college. I mean, we're talking about like 1,500 students. So it's come a long way. I love seeing that more and more women are becoming chiefs and not afraid to go for that title. I think in the South, I think a lot of it's just gaining the trust and respect of your viewers. And I feel I have that. So I haven't felt personally that they're going to, trust, the guy or the chief over me. Maybe it would be almost easier that I can be a little bit more understanding, maybe a little bit more emotional, for those in the South. So I could have an advantage maybe over a guy than, say vice versa. But everyone's different. So I don't see anything, real negative with it. It's come a long way, and, we continue to say, hey, we can do the same things as guys can do. So
definitely. Have you cried? Have you cried during weather? Because you said emotional. Have you cried? Oh, I have.
I don't think women are taken more
TV.
Seriously.
I did.
We're more maternal, so we take care of people.
Yeah. There's a lot of people with PTSD, and so just being understanding of storm anxiety and relatable to the folks, I think is really huge. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I have anxiety too, I get it. We're all human. We all feel the same way. When you're in your work mode, but then afterwards you process everything just like anyone else. So that's when, I don't cry very much anyways, but yeah, cheer up a little.
Have some more to drink. It helps.
Dan, you got anything?
I'll defer at the moment, but I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Cool. All right. So here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Did someone else have something?
Yeah, I was going to say I cry when cold wind is blowing my face during the wintertime.
Yeah.
You remind me of having scary face. I always tell anyone that's going to do a live shot, make sure you have waterproof mascara, because there's been so many times I've seen in the past. Just black streaming down their faces, and I feel so awful. So yeah, that's horrible. But I don't have to worry about that in the South. Still,
Do you, Scott? Do you have the waterproof mascara, Scott?
Yes, I do.
Just checking.
He's covered. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So we're going to come back. We are going to start with Weather Fools. So any of the co-hosts, if you guys are sharing anything for Weather Fools or WX Resources, go ahead and share your screen now so MJ can pull it up. But Maz, you're introducing Weather Fools. And, of course, we'll bring you into the Who.
Episode what?
135, episode 135 show notes.
Gotcha.
And then who's got Weather Fools? I have 3.
Good job.
I have 2
have
listener
so many.
contributions.
MJ with 2. Anybody else Weather Fools?
Phil with
All right.
3. That's 5.
Yep. All right. Then
perfect.
we'll go to WX Resources. Jen. So you introduce what WX Resources are. I'll bring you into Rockstar. I have 1.
Awesome. So do I.
Jen, any other WX resources? And I'll open this up to any of you guys, Scott, Tim, Jill, any of you guys have. So a WX resources, cool website, app, piece of equipment that you might use, storm chasing that you really love that you want to share. Hey, here's what I use, or here's this. Like, I'm going to share a hurricane app that I use. But you guys have anything you want to share?
Man, I loved using GoPros. They're excellent.
So let's add Scott. You can talk about your GoPros and what you use and what you like about it. How about anybody else? Tim or Jill, you got anything you want to share?
No, I'm interested in hearing about the GoPro because I'm about to use mine.
Let's have Jen. Let's have Scott go last so he can hear you and I just kind of cover it and what we talk about, so that he can jump in and kind of see how the flow goes. And then Jen, you can come back and tell everybody episode 135 show notes is where we'll have links to any of those weather resources. Mm-hmm. And don't forget, guys, if you have a weather fool or weather resource, send me an email with the link so I've got it.
Perfect.
And then I will take it from there, or Maz will take it from there. You want to introduce wasted weather?
Oh, am I doing that?
You can or I can. It doesn't matter. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I can do that.
So wasted weather. So this is a clip, and I'll share with you guys now. I pulled one of Reed Timmer. And so all of you guys know what it is. So wasted weather clips is I slow it down so they sound drunk and intoxicated while they're talking.
Good fun.
So it's pretty funny. But so Maz, just tell people we searched the dark web.
Gotcha.
And we found a clip of whether it's a meteorologist or a storm chaser talking when they maybe had been in the bag.
Gotcha.
And so it wasn't publicized to the masses, and it was sent to the dark web or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll take that, and then I'll go to Freak Fan Box MJ, and we'll close it up. We'll close it up. Okay.
And then Jill can refill her drink. Right.
That's
Jill?
right. Anybody questions? We good to go? All right. So Maz, we are coming into you. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Coming in 3, 2.
Awesome. Time now for Weather Fools. If you've been watching this for a while, you know there's some dumb people we're about to show you. Okay, but for those of you who don't know, these are people that are doing some less than perfect and intelligent things in certain type of weather phenomena. That's my science side of things. Okay, so to kick things off here for tonight, MJ, you got some viewers that have some contributions.
I do. And in this first one that comes to us from Luna Light checks in again. It's been a little while. Christine, our friend in Germany, since she's shared one. But this is another one of those good examples of turn around, don't drown. And this is in Germany, a raging flooded street. And you can watch them drive right into it, just like they should.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Almost completely underneath. And I'll play one more time. Almost completely underwater is the front end of that SUV. Just incredible.
Is that foam?
Yeah, I know. I think it is.
Oh my God. Did they get through it?
I don't know. It stops, right? I don't know.
Question mark.
You figure out.
Cliffhanger to episode 2, right?
if I look at it right where it is right now, I'm going to say I don't think they're going to make it. But, it's hard
Get
to
engine
say.
lock.
Yeah, exactly. So
There's
turn
no
around,
way.
don't drown. And then our second one comes from our friend Joe Mays, who submitted this one. And the caveat to it is it says real or ? Or fake ? But it says regardless, don't swim during thunderstorms. And so
looks
you
like
can
Sid
watch.
Vicious.
Yeah,
Of the Sex Pistols.
And so he's gonna jump into the pool and he's lining it up and he says, "Watch this! I'm swimming in the rain." And just as he jumps in, there's a lightning bolt, and then he jumps back out. I mean, he kind of It's well done if it's fake.
Yeah.
I have to say, I can do that one more time. I think.
I don't think he'd jump out of the water that fast if that was real.
Right.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Did it hit the pool?
It looks like it's right beyond beyond the pool.
Gosh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, real or fake, don't swim when it's in a thunderstorm.
Like otherwise, if that wasn't going to happen, what's he TikToking? Like him doing a cannonball in the water?
Well, if you listen to the audio of it, he talks about how he comes out and he goes, "Oh, you got to see, this is great. It's raining. Swimming in the rain is so much better than not or whatever." That's what he says. So he jumps in. Once again, the lesson is don't do that. That's foolish, right? So.
Man, all right, those are pretty good, MJ. So Phil, you got not 2, but what, 3?
I got 3. I'm going to start with this tweet only in Boston. You're going to like this one, Jill. This was at Fenway Park, and it's someone in the crowd and you can see a storm is coming into Fenway Park. The lights are on. Someone's in the crowd. They're kind of hanging out.
Wow.
And then you basically see this bolt of lightning go across the sky. And I don't know if they're still playing the game or not, but everyone's still just sitting in the stands watching this thunderstorm just come on in.
Look at that,
Right.
I saw this and I was like, do they not tell them they have to get out of the stands? I mean, where's the safety? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And you can see the stands are full, right? I mean, they're loaded with people, so everyone's just still hanging out. And the audio, when the lightning strikes, everybody goes, "Oh, did you see
like
that?
fireworks?"
That was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, did you see the can of beer? So that's why they're not even in the stands.
Hold on. All right. Next one I've got is this is a tornado in the Czech Republic. This again is on Twitter. But it's a video of a tornado in the Czech Republic, and it's like this guy's just standing in his yard.
Whoa!
And it's literally happening. 50 yards from him.
There's debris flying, and trees are bent over, and
you can see the inflow. It's just sucking everything in. And he stepped inside his door, and he kind of cracked his door a little bit so he could still see a little bit outside the door.
By the window.
Move to the window. That's better.
Of course, yep. Then he goes by his window and he pulls the shades.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
And then he opens the shades, and the tornado's literally right there outside his window.
Holy
my God.
And of course, what happens next? The window shatters.
Yes.
Oh.
I like how you close the blinds, so that would help.
I know.
That cracked me up.
Man.
I thought that was funny.
Close
That's
the blinds.
crazy.
Maybe it won't know I'm here.
Cool video though.
It is. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That
amazing.
vortex that spins up right next to the building next to him, that was just insane.
Tim, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure he would have won with that. I'm just saying. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
So seek shelter. And then the last one I've got to share with you guys, and I'll be honest, this really isn't a weather fool. It's a video, and this was from the Weather Channel on Twitter. But it is a video of someone's dash cam, and there's an SUV in front of them, and the SUV is going to get struck by lightning right in front of them. And it literally hits the SUV in front of them.
Giddy up.
This SUV is going on a trip somewhere because they have bikes in the back. They've got luggage rack on top.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So no one was a fool, right? Because you're in your car.
You're just driving.
Right.
You're just driving. But look at, I mean,
Wow.
It looks like the lights just go I don't know,
Yeah.
with lightning. And it looks like the lights went off,
like
turned
electrical. Yeah, like it might have totally lost
Wow.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
lost
scary.
all its electrical power. Who knows? But
Wow.
That's cool though.
I can only imagine being in that car. That must have been terrifying.
Oh, terrifying for sure.
Now, if you see that on a plasma TV, oh, that's even better. Oh.
so yeah, so those are my weather fools, man.
Nice. Good job. Hey, and these are actually very good. So if you didn't get a chance to see them, you can check out all these on stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 135 in the show notes section. We'll have the links for you so you can check them out yourself.
All right, you guys know what that means. It is weather resource time, and we are going to geek out extra special here today because we've got some storm chasers that are going to talk about some gear. We also talk about ways that you can learn different things about the weather, forecasting, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to kick it off with Phil. We're going to see what you have, and then I'll go, and then we've got a special guest as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to share with you guys, and truthfully, I don't know if I've shared this before. My guess is I have in one of the 135 episodes or 134 previous episodes we've had, because I use it all the time. This is a great app. It's called Hurricane Tracker. I can tell you it's in the Apple and iPhone app store. I don't know if it has an Android sister or not, but it's called Hurricane Tracker. And it's from EZ, the letters EZ Apps Inc. This is amazing because it's every time, and it's certainly hurricane season. It'll pull Atlantic and Pacific hurricanes, and you pull up the app and you just tell it, do you want to look at the Atlantic side, the Pacific side? And then it will show you how many tropical storms or depressions are going on right now, how many hurricanes are going on. You can pull up each individual tropical storm, and it will give you all the National Hurricane Center graphics. It will give you the most up-to-date satellite loops, whether it's just of the precipitation, or whether it's satellite of clouds and the formations. And it pulls up everything associated with that, and everything issued as well by the National Hurricane Center. So yeah, it's really great. Shows you all the models and the spaghetti plots. It's just a great resource to keep up on what's going on, where it's at. You know, you can wake up in the morning. I pull that up when I know there's something going on to see where it's at right now. Is it hurricane level? Is it still, a tropical storm level or whatever? So great resource. Again, it's called Hurricane Tracker. And again, I know it's for the iPhone.
It is also available for Android. I just looked.
Perfect.
Nice graphics.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I actually don't have that app, so I think I'm going to actually get it right now. That's awesome. Thanks, Phil. Okay, so I'm going to go really quick. And speaking about, your chief there, Jill, going to aviation. I love actually JP. JP is a good friend of mine. I actually am bringing up aviationweather.gov, which I think is always kind of fun. If you're a weather geek, you love flying in the skies and just, seeing where their reports are coming out of when it comes to turbulence and everything else. And so if you go to aviationweather.gov, it basically shows you the reports of all the flights literally around the globe, where there's turbulence, high turbulence, low turbulence. You can look at surface wind, icing, freeze reports, all that kind of stuff. And you can literally zoom in. You can zoom out around the entire globe and see what's going on, see the flights that have been there, and basically the reports that they have, which kind of gives you a fun global view of what is going on. You can look at the specific METAR reports, literally, and see what the weather is like around the world. But I think this is fun, especially before I go flying, seeing what the turbulence is going to be like, but also what the weather is going to be like wherever I'm going, especially if I'm going across the pond to Europe or anywhere else internationally. But I think it's super geeky and fun. And you can literally I can spend 30, 45 minutes just on this site looking at the different observations, the tools, and everything else they have. So I thought it would be something fun to bring up.
Jen, there was one flight in California. I'm like, what is going on over there? It's nothing.
They had an earthquake earlier today too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, a pretty maybe significant one. I'm not sure. One of my friends is out there and was reporting about that. But
wow.
But anyway, so that's for fun, aviation weather and pilots, weather geeks. And we have one more, Scott. Let's talk about gear and all the fun storm chasing stuff really quick.
Absolutely. Well, you have your typical dash cam in your car. I know some people have, other ones for wide shots, but I've had a lot of success with GoPros, especially the new ones that have come out. You can attach, for instance, for the Hero 8 and the 9s, they've come out with GoPros where you can attach what's called a media mod, which allows you to attach a external microphone to the GoPro to give you higher quality audio while you're chasing. So I don't know how many people know about this, but GoPro doesn't seem to advertise it a lot, but I've had a lot of success with it. And obviously the GoPro gives you your wide angle shot, so you don't have to choose between a wide shot or a tight shot with the dash cam. You have an alternative to just fixed wide angle.
Awesome. I love that.
Hey, do you have an idea, Scott, what the external mic goes for generally?
What was that? Ask me that again.
What the mic, how much that runs, like how much it costs to get that external mic?
I mean, you can get, you can choose. I use a little Rode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the Media Mod. You attach to your GoPro. I think the Media Mod's like $70.
Nice.
But it enables you to attach any kind of microphone you want to the GoPro. And it's got a cold shoe. It's got 2 cold shoes, but I use the top one for the GoPro, the Hero 8 and the 9. And you can choose any microphone you want. You can create a harness for it where you can get a large microphone.
So can I use my big blue snowball? Can I hit one of those attached to it?
Probably not. I don't know if it's got a USB. Yeah.
That's useful.
That's awesome, Scott. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And so if you can go to stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 135 show notes, where you're going to get all the links to all the fun sites and gear that we just talked about and everything else going on as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Hey, time now for the fun part of the show. Not that the other part wasn't fun, but we were scouring the dark web. When I say we, I really mean Phil, because I'm never on the dark web. But anyway, just to let you know, time now for wasted weather. And what we've done is we've actually been looking for some folks who maybe they stopped by a bar or something prior to going on the air. Could have been a storm chaser, could have been a on-air talent, etc. But we found Reed Timmer. Reed, should be ashamed of yourselves. So
I'll just share this with you guys. I'll set it up a little bit. So I was just looking around, and of course you find the stuff that gets discarded, and when we do these wasted weather clips, you understand why they were discarded. But so Reed was recently setting up, so he's got a vehicle. I don't know what kind of vehicle it is, but it's just a car. But he calls it the Dominator 4, and it's a Subaru. It's a Subaru. Okay, so it's been beat to shit by hail. I mean, it's been beat, and he's got some deal now with flex tape.
Oh my gosh.
And so he had his vehicle all flex taped and flex sealed and flex I don't know what, but this was a clip he did while his car was in the garage getting all flexed up. But you could tell he was definitely in the bag. So I'll just play the clip for you.
Major waterproofing exercise happening here with the Dominator 4. This is Sasha and Critter's office here. Shop, what have you. This is where the magic happens. This is where Dominator 4 is waterproof, turning it into a submarine. Ahead of hurricane season, we've got Elsa out there causing problems. Not yet, but could cause problems over portions of the greater Antilles, lesser Antilles as well, maybe even the southeastern U.S. With a long hurricane season ahead. And we're also going to be mounting the Dominator weather station on the roof. Never stop flexing.
Okay.
Never stop flexing.
So you can see why they discarded that clip.
Now we're going to have that. We're going to have that in the show notes too.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to send anybody to the dark web in the show.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby. Yeah.
All right, MJ, what do we got in the bag?
All right. Well,
we're in the bag.
I'm not in the bag. I'm okay. But we've got plenty of messages. Just me, Sarah Vanessa, checked in on Podbean, was watching episode 121, when our guest was Meredith Garofalo, and gave us 3 hearts. So thank you, Sarah.
Nice.
But disappointed it wasn't 4, but that's all right. We'll take 3.
I don't know. I think
it's somebody.
It's 3 out of 3, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas Isabella chimed in with great work, guys. And that was a reference to our 5 years with the Freaks episode. So,
Oh,
5 years?
but yeah, there you go.
that's
It's like a
awesome.
jail sentence. What the heck?
Patreon supporter Josh Burnham, who is with us tonight, I believe, gave us a shout when he said Tornado Trackers, Weather Brains, and Stormfront Freaks are the podcasts I listen to.
Nice.
Oh, Josh.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
that,
Josh.
Send him a check. Send him a check.
Our newest Patreon member with us tonight, Angela Krager, tweeted out, I got name dropped on the Stormfront Freaks podcast. And guess what you did again?
Wait, who was that again? MJ, who was that again?
That was Angela Krager.
Angela. Angela Krager. That's right. She's
She is awesome.
Let's see. Solid F2 pod, who is Joe Mays, who we also saw a contribution from earlier. Also a past guest, of course, and Patreon supporter, checked in on Insta in reference to Greg's Dodge City chase photo. And he said, was just reading about this storm chasing day after you mentioned it on a past episode of Stormfront Freaks. Excellent shot as always.
nice.
So a nice little shout out to
that.
Greg. And Joe, by the way, is also a host on the Twister Minute by Minute podcast, which was what he was on talking about. And a week or so ago, he tweeted out, happy to be back on the mic recently with the Solid F2 pod and the Twister Minute by Minute podcast. We have released episodes covering through minute 64 of the Twister movie. And he meant it's great. You've got to tune into that. People got to take a look at that. And then said, for some added meteorology motivation, I'm getting caught up on the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Motivation.
That's awesome.
David, we're all about.
We're there. We are there for you.
It's just an excuse to drink, isn't it? Watch us.
Yes. So thank you everybody for checking in, and please continue to do that. You can find us all over the place: Facebook, Insta, or Instagram. I'm old, right? I call it that. And Twitter, of course, and at stormfrontfreaks.com.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: we haven't had we get Apple Podcast reviews, and you guys have been great about giving us great 5-star reviews, but we haven't gotten a written review from anybody for like a year. So I encourage you, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts right now, drop us a written review, and we'll do a name drop for you like we did for Angela.
We will absolutely do that.
Is that
All right.
pandering?
Yes, that just about does it, guys, for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. I want to thank you for listening or watching. But before I announce our next guest, if you do like the show, don't forget to subscribe or to follow the Stormfront Freaks network. That way you're going to get notified. You'll receive the latest episodes of the show and El Niños. It'll be delivered right to your podcast player the moment that it gets released. And also help us out, share it with other Storm Freaks, and help spread the word about the show. And as I said earlier, visit patreon.com /Stormfront Freaks. You can check out all the ways we can do more with you. And you can also help support the show, whether it's the live access to view and chat during the raw video recordings. I mentioned we got exclusive merch. I just sent out. Steve's on the show, was watching on the show tonight. Just sent him the exclusive Stormfront Freaks t-shirt. You can also join us and our guests in the green room, just like Dan and Angela tonight as well. But just go to patreon.com /Stormfront Freaks. You can join the team. But a huge thank you to all of you that are helping to support us and help us pay for all the things that we got to keep this up with all the internet stuff that MJ basically does. So special thanks to our guests tonight, Jill Gilardi, Scott Peak, Tim Baca. Thanks so much, guys.
Awesome.
We told Jill it was going to be another 15 minutes, and I think it ended up being another half hour. So Jill, I'm sorry your dogs and cats are probably killing you. But thank you.
I'll give
I
him some
do
extra
appreciate
treats.
the
They'll
time.
be fine.
Do appreciate the time, and you guys are great. So thanks, and again, congratulations, Scott and Tim. Outstanding.
you.
Hey, we're going to be
There you
back
go.
in 2 weeks, recording live and raw for our Patreon members. This is going to be on Thursday, July 22nd, with Storm Chaser for the Tornado Titans, Brandon Sullivan. is going to be with us. The audio podcast, as always, will be up and available the following Sunday. So for MJ, Maz, Jen, Tim, Jill, Scott, Dan, Angela, for everybody, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear. And we're going to catch you guys next time. So thanks. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Woo.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good job on the names. You're just rattling them off.
rattle
All
them
right,
off.
guys, Jill, thanks for sticking
Thank
around.
you.
Sorry that ended up being a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
But you were awesome.
Thank you so much
Good job
for having
tonight.
us on.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Scott
it
and
was a
Tim,
blast.
this again, you guys continue to do great work. So I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
that we could get you guys on and recognize you tonight too. So
we
thanks for
Thank you
being
so
on.
much for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And good
I
luck
like to be
tomorrow,
back on again. I
Scott.
had a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
good luck. Share some videos on Twitter and tag Stormfront Freak. We'll pass it
Absolutely.
out. We'll pass it out. So cool.
Will do. Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. And Angela, it's good to see you. You and Dan now. It's great to have some extra company on.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Dan
Oh
was
my God,
getting an inflated head, thinking like he was the king, and now there's a queen. So we're
There you
in
go.
good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, you know me.
Settle down, Dan. Settle down, buddy.
Yeah.
You're getting too excited.
Actually, I met Dan. at the Twister
Yeah.
25th anniversary. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just this year. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Hey,
cool.
you met me too.
What?
Probably.
Yeah. I know Scott too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah, Scott. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I never met Tim.
Once you've met Dan,
I was the
it's
shark.
like everybody else
You're the
after
shark?
Dan. Yeah.
I mean, I remember the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Marshall put me
that
in the
was the
shark.
shark.
Tim Marshall put me in the shark suit.
Oh,
I
that's
so wish
why.
I'd been there.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Were you
I was the
dancing
one
like
attacking
halftime at
people.
the Super Bowl
Yeah,
or what?
left shark. Were you left shark?
Oh,
Yeah, I was the one attacking people at Wakita.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
was
Tim
this?
told me to do it. Sharknado.
Dang.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jill, I'll have to put in a Chewy order for you guys, and
That's great.
we'll
Don't-
try
there
and
you go. Yeah.
ship
Don't say
something your
Chewy.
way.
Don't say Chewy around Baka.
Chewy.
Okay.
That's right.
Start
I know,
selling
I
like
was
tornado
little sensitive.
say that.
toys.
Cool. All right. Well,
Yes,
thanks
I
guys
am.
for joining us. We appreciate you. And again, the audio podcast will get uploaded Sunday, and that's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio and all that stuff. Yep.
Nice.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So, and I'll tag you guys on some social media posts. So if you want to share that, great. If you want to do your own stuff, you can do that too.
Absolutely.
But
Awesome.
Good job.
We'll do.
cool. Have a great
Great
night,
meeting
guys.
everyone.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Nice
Great
meeting
meeting
you.
you, Jill.
Everybody again.
Scott, Tim.
Tim, thanks for being a good sport.
All right.
Always.
Ending the